back again, and as you saw in a thumbnail, it's the sort of beginning in a way of my little Nintendo journey, or probably big Nintendo journey, because I've said it before in my videos, and I did a specific video on the path in gaming people take. I just didn't get any Nintendo consoles. Nothing deliberate, I have nothing against Nintendo, but I didn't have any friends that bought them, and it just worked out that way. I went down the Sony route, but enough of that. I'm there in with the Nintendo now. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to make up for all that lost time. Some time ago, I picked up the NES Mini and I put a little poll out asking what game should I play, and the people came up with Mega Man 2 and Gradius, and since then there's been other people saying I have to play the Mario games, and of course I have played Mario games. I've got a SNES up there and I completed Super Mario World. God, that must have been a couple of years ago, but I still didn't really go anywhere else with Nintendo, so as I say, I'm making up for it now. But we're going to look at Mega Man 2 and Gradius in a moment. But before we go into that, I just thought I'd mention my t-shirt. You know, a couple of people have mentioned my t-shirts in the past. This one's a Nintendo tree. As you can see, it's like a family tree, but with sort of Nintendos. Now, if anybody goes to London very often, if you go into Camden Town is not what it used to be, let's be fair, back in the sort of, probably right back to 60s before I was born. But, you know, even in the 80s, it was pretty good. But I go to Camden Town reasonably regularly lately, and I think it's sort of, it's back a little bit. It's not bad. And there's a t-shirt shop in the sort of marketplace. If you go up to where the bridge is, the famous sort of bridge in Camden, and there's a shop in there. He does a lot of really good gaming t-shirts. I got this one there, and I tend to pick up, you know, the odd t-shirt if I pop down there, and I get the rest on eBay. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention where I get my t-shirts. But let's crack on. We're gonna have a look at Mega Man 2 first, and then Gradius. So here we go. My journey into the NES, or the NES Mini to start off with, begins here. And wow, you know, this is why I do my YouTube channel. It's because the recommendations, I ask for people to give me their ideas of what game I should play on the NES or NES Mini. People recommended Mega Man 2, and wow, am I lucky you did, because what an absolute gem of a game. I'm doing a little bit of research. It's no surprise that many people consider this one of the greatest video games ever made, and also its soundtrack as well is often voted amongst the very best, because it's absolutely sublime, a brilliant platformer, and the idea behind the game is so good. Because what I really like about it is, on doing my research, I found out this game is a labour of love. The guys at Capcom who made this game, they were sort of contracted on other games were being worked on in Capcom at the time, but they wanted to really make this game. It was an actual labour of love, and I really do believe that when people really have a love for something, that's when the creativity sparks the most, and that's where you get the best results. Now, these guys apparently used some footage from Mega Man 1 and sort of just continued with this game. And now here you can see I'm sort of battling Flashman here, and I did enough research to know that some of the sort of enemy robots were easier to defeat than others, and apparently Flashman, now listen, he's got to be quite easy to defeat for me, because, you know, I'm not the best gamer. I am Mr. Average Gamer when it comes to sort of my playing ability. But yeah, I did defeat him, but I go back to the point that the guys who made this game, they really did it because they wanted to make it. And it's absolutely a brilliant story to then see how well this game did and what a game it was. I just think it's a really great story. But the levels, the whole idea, obviously I found out about the battles between Dr. Light and Dr. Wily, and you eventually have to fight Dr. Wily. But it's tough going, obviously, you know. This is another level, and it's just like the sort of progression of levels, the ideas that go into the different levels. You know, in that respect, it's similar to something like Super Mario World, but everything looks so beautiful. And the other thing as well is that I like the idea of you don't just instantly die. You know, the very fact that you can pick up energy, you can restore your energy. Now, who's this? I think this is, oh god, which boss is this? I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it Crash Man? But anyway, I defeated him, so I managed to defeat 3 of the bosses, but obviously not all in one go, which is what you'd have to do. But what was really great as well is the ability to sort of use the passwords to sort of effectively save where you were in a game. Really, really brilliant. But look at this one as well. I think this is Airman. He fires his tornadoes at you, and I managed to sort of defeat Airman. But the more I played this game, I soon fell in love with it. Like all games, but this as well, this is the one when you're underwater. I think this is Bubble Man.
So when you jump, you can sort of die. I think sometimes you can die instantly when you hit the spikes up there. So I worked out if you press the jump button for a certain amount of time, the longer you press it, the higher you went. So you sort of could die that way. So loads of thought went into the game. And the other thing as well, the whole idea about you sort of win certain weapons, that you then have to work out what weapons are best against the other robots in the game. And I just sort of think to myself, you can probably get months and months of enjoyment out of a game like this, and that's no doubt what people did and why there is so much love for the game. And I'm going to play this game a lot more. I love this level as well, the level where the laser beams came across the screen, and you could win the time weapon where you could freeze time, freeze the lasers and get through. But yeah, so many good parts of this game. Look at this bit as well. You can't see them. There's darkness. You can't see the enemies. Brilliant game.
That was Mega Man 2. I'm well into it. I thought I did okay. I've only played it for about a week, and these sort of games back then, you got to play them for months, if not years, to sort of do a proper completion of them. But the way the game is constructed, I mentioned a lot there in the actual video. Absolutely superb. What a game. I am really intrigued to play the other Mega Man games, and like I say, the Mario games as well. I'm going to go full on into it. But anyway, let's crack on with Gradius.
So I'll tell you what, you didn't let me down again. This is another fantastic recommendation. Gradius, I had vague memories of seeing this about, and I was a massive fan of Scramble. And of course, I forget Konami did Scramble, and I must admit that little piece of music there at the start to this little level, I think that must be really nostalgic to people when they hear that, who used to play this game back in the day. I bet that sound and that little jingle has those vibes. Now this bit, God, it took me ages to work out where to go on the screen. I realised that if I sort of ducked down there on the bottom left, I'd get past these. It looked like sort of bits coming out of a volcano or something. I did manage to get past this, but I did die a lot. And of course you get to this sort of boss here, which is a spacecraft. So level 1, in the end, it wasn't too bad. But I tell you what I love about this game is those tunes. They really stuck with me. Beautifully made. The whole game is lovely. And I didn't realise that this is a very, very super iconic game in the sort of world of shoot 'em ups. A lot of people talk about Gradius as being a massive influence on other shoot 'em up games. So really pleased again that you gave me this recommendation. And the whole idea as well about the sort of power meter at the bottom, that you sort of can decide how to use the capsules you pick up, whether you want to sort of increase your speed or increase your missiles a bit more. So it's totally down to you how you use the sort of weapons meter, if you like. Absolutely brilliant. And also I didn't realise, I'd read about it, there was a catchphrase about this: destroy the core, because you're working your way through to the core, to defeat the bosses. Now this one here, the end of level 2, I just couldn't do it. And I know I've only just started playing the game, but I found that a little bit too much for me. But this again, brilliant game. As I say, I used to love Scramble, so this is a really, really good one for me. Really, really good stuff.
Gradius, what can you say? I thought it was really excellent. Now, as I said there, it reminded me of a game called Scramble, which was out in the arcades in the early 80s. Similar sort of thing. You shoot forwards and drop bombs at the same time. Really, really like those sort of games. And the way the game progressively gets harder, the music again, I really, really enjoyed it. But I hope you like the look at Mega Man 2 and Gradius. As I said, I'll be looking at some Nintendo stuff. Won't just be doing Nintendo stuff, obviously. I like keeping my videos varied. I have loads of different consoles and stuff, but I've got a Spectrum video coming up. I'm actually doing a video about the games I love so much I wanted to have a physical copy. I think there's 10 of them. Games I just had to have the physical copy, that I'd got rid of back in the day, and I wanted to own them again because I had that much love for those games. So that's the next video coming up on the Spectrum. But as you can see here, you probably spotted I picked up a Nintendo Switch. I did do a little community post about picking up a Switch, and like is the retro gaming way, I bought the original Switch when the Nintendo Switch 2 came out. I often do it that way. It might have been a little bit cheaper, but I thought, no, I'm going to pick one up because I thought the subscription, as I've got a liking now for the NES and SNES games, it was £18 a year to play the older games. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So I may do a video coming up soon also about the Nintendo Switch. I know there's millions of videos out, obviously, because it's sold, but just on my journey, looking at it from somebody with new eyes, So anyway, like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll be back with that Spectrum video soon. Take care.